Hi guys, Elledani here. I do post about makeup a little bit, and I definitely post about the need for makeup companies to be cruelty-free. I get a lot of questions on why I feel that way, why it's important, what companies are cruelty-free, which you'd be surprised how many are, as well as a lot of people that think they can't afford cruelty-free makeup, which is totally not the case. For one thing, animal testing is legitimate animal torture. I'm not even sure how in modern societies it is still legal. They are in small cages. No one would advocate for pet animals to live like this. Well, when it's the same dogs and rabbits and mice that would be in pet homes, there's no reason that one should be in a large adequate enclosure and one should be in confined spaces for the sake of testing. Enrichment is the ability to interact with an environment, to do natural behaviors. It helps to get energy out and to use their mind in ways that they need to. Animals in testing facilities literally live in kennels. Kennels are only okay for short durations of confinement, and I'm going to do a different video on kennels and my thoughts and views on those because I get a lot of questions on that too. But for now, we are talking about animal testing. So beyond the lack of enrichment and the confined spaces, they literally have different compounds and chemicals dripped into their eyes, dripped into their mouths, sometimes force-fed, rubbed onto their skin, and they're testing for a reaction. The thing is that's really not, maybe in earlier times we thought that was necessary. It's really not necessary anymore. For a company to be fully cruelty-free, they, for one, can't test any of their products on animals. For two, ingredients should not be tested on animals, and the suppliers for those ingredients should also be cruelty-free. Until recently, a lot of companies seem to get away with not testing per company, but allowing for third-party testing to be sold in certain countries. That kind of thing is finally being brought to light, and people aren't okay with it. To be truly cruelty-free, you can't profit from animal cruelty whatsoever. And I'm going to get into the one more stance that makes the company a little bit less ethical, and that is if they don't test on animals, that's great. However, if their parent company does, that's a little bit of a problem. So people often ask me, what can I do? It seems like there's nothing I can do to petition these huge companies. And while there may not be a lot to do, you can vote with your money. If enough people don't purchase from companies that test on animals, they're going to stop doing it. There are an absolutely outrageous amount of companies that don't test on animals, that are completely cruelty-free in all of the aspects I've talked about. You can find these on Cruelty-Free Kitty, on Ethical Elephant. Leaping Bunny Certified is a huge one, and that's actually a stamp that is a little bunny that you'll see on a lot of packaging. I do think you actually have to pay for that to be on your packaging, so it's not something smaller brands also have. Logical Harmony actually has an article of all of Ulta's current cruelty-free brands, which is nice because Ulta has high-end and low-end. People often ask me, like, can I afford to go cruelty-free? Is it going to be that much more expensive? Absolutely not. Elf and NYX are two fantastic companies. I'm not a huge fan of Elf, but I love NYX in general, and even having extremely sensitive skin, I get away with NYX. Elf I have had problems with, both breaking out, and I just don't think the quality is quite as good, and NYX really isn't that much more. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. These are just a few of the companies that I do know, that I stand behind and I believe in, and that I do know are completely cruelty-free. For higher end, there is Urban Decay is a big one. They have really amazing quality makeup. Anastasia Beverly Hills has fantastic makeup. I just recently got into both ABH and Morphe, and I'm blown away with both of their eyeshadows. Just the overall quality and the high pigmentation and how little you need. So I talked a little bit about companies that may be cruelty-free, but their parent company isn't. One of the big ones and one of the hardest ones for me to have gotten away from is Bare Minerals. Bare Minerals is completely cruelty-free, but Shiseido, who is their parent company, is not. They tested. MAC is another one that is cruelty-free, but they do allow third-party testing to be able to sell in China. For those of you that don't know, China has some of the strictest regulations on animal testing, in that they require anything sold in the country to be tested by a third-party laboratory. A lot of companies you'll see don't sell in China for that reason. Just a few weeks ago, there was an article that came out from, I believe, Cruelty Free Kitty, that Wet n Wild was found to be selling in China. That's a big deal because A, they have to be testing on animals to be selling in China, but Wet n Wild has also prided itself in being an animal advocate and animal testing free for a very long time. I believe there was even a letter on their website from the founder about how they pride themselves in being cruelty free. Most importantly, in makeup and hair care and skincare, any part of the beauty industry, you can absolutely find cruelty-free companies and feel good about the purchases and know that harm's not being done. If all of these companies can do this, it's really possible to go without, and that's the most important thing we're dealing with. Even China is working on reforming their laws. They do have some of the strictest laws. Once they repeal, we really hope that we're going to see more of a precedent worldwide with less animal testing in general. For any product you're currently using, you can absolutely find a cruelty-free alternative. I definitely have some review videos coming on all kinds of different products that are cruelty-free that I absolutely love and stand behind. None of these I'm sponsored by. They're just things I love, and I'd like to promote them to help people find better choices to the products they may currently be using if they wish to make those changes. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a cause I'm really passionate about. It is so easy for us to make simple changes and make a huge difference for a lot of animals that are stuck in that industry over time. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try to do at least a product a week. If there's something in particular you want to see me do, please comment below. I'd love to see what you're interested in. Until next time.